Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. It is Tuesday, the 1st of February 2022, and it is time for another edition of our Community Garda Information slot. And we're joined in studio this week by Garda Niall Maguire. Thank you very much for joining us, Niall. It's good to have you in.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Right, okay, we will start with a renewed appeal. It was the subject of a national appeal last night, and that's as it relates to the awful murder of Sean Duffy.
Yeah, this is going back 17 years, the anniversary on the Saturday the 29th of January 2005. So my colleagues in Milford are investigating the fatal attack on Sean Duffy, who was murdered when he was 36 years old. Sean was out socialising in the Strand View Bar in Mahray on Friday the 28th of January 2005. He then continued on to socialise at a house in Mina Cross, Dunlow, and returned to his own home at approximately 2:30 in the morning. His body was discovered in the home shortly before 2:30 p.m. that afternoon, so 12 hours later. My colleagues in Milford continue to appeal for information in this case and believe that a number of people have yet to come forward and may now be in a position to assist in bringing those responsible to justice. You know, people's allegiances may have changed, and with the passage of time, some person may now feel that they have something that they could bring to the table. Anyone with information, please contact my colleagues in Milford, 074 9153060, or indeed the Garda Confidential line on 1800 666 111.
Now, presumably, obviously, you know, there is a sense that there are people that have out there that have information, and they've been carrying that for a long time, you know, and no matter who you are, that's going to weigh heavily on you. You're saying there is an opportunity now for them to choose this time to come forward to relieve themselves of that burden, and to help get justice here, to help get answers for the investigation, of course, but primarily Mr. Duffy's family.
Yeah, the detective branch firmly believe that there is people that are withholding information at the moment, and you know, with the passage of time, they may be able to come towards us now and help us out with this and help the family out.
Okay, now there was also an appeal last night as it relates to an aggravated burglary. What's the story here?
Yeah, this is a sinister one, Greg. My colleagues in Buncrana are continuing to investigate an aggravated burglary, which is opposed to a regular burglary, and the difference being that force was used and people were in the house at the time. This occurred on Saturday the 11th of December between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. at Mina Harnish, Ballymagan, Buncrana. Entry was gained by force to a house that was occupied by a lady and her granddaughter at that location by a couple of males, and these males remained in the house in question for quite a long period of time, which is very unusual, Greg. It's not something that we come across very often. No injuries were reported, but the two female occupants were very understandably shaken and traumatised as a result of the ordeal. A number of belongings were stolen from the house during the course of the burglary, namely a gold chain and locket, a silver-coloured brooch with a red stone, and a small sum of money. The first suspect is described as being in his mid-30s, of average build and height. He wore a dark grey Under Armour tracksuit bottoms, a dark hoodie with the hood up, dark gloves, no mask, and he had a northern accent. The second suspect is described as being in his early 20s, of smaller build and height. He wore black Nike shoes with 3D lines across the top, a knee-length puffer coat, a blue disposable face mask, blue gloves, and he also spoke with a northern accent. So we're appealing to anybody who was in the Ballymagan area between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the 11th of December, and maybe who had dash cam, to make the footage available to the Gardaí. We are particularly interested in any sightings of dash cam footage of the following vehicle: a black Volkswagen Passat, possibly a 2005 to 2011 model, Northern Irish registration plates. We're appealing for sightings of this vehicle from the time period of 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. on the 11th of December on the road from Mina Harnish, Cairnbray, Quigley's Point, Tour Street, and on into Muff and along the Donegal Gardai border. So again, please contact maybe the investigating team in Buncrana, 074 9320 540 or 1800 666 111.
I mean, there's a lot of good information in there as it relates to, you know, descriptions and vehicles. It should not be beyond, if this appeal reaches the right ears, it shouldn't be beyond us to get some good information in relation to that one.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I'm not sure the motivation behind this. You know yourself, Greg, from us coming in and making appeals to burglaries. It is unusual.
It's in and out normally, really, isn't it?
It's in and out, yeah. Or usually the house is unoccupied and there's very little danger to the occupants.
Okay, right. Now we're going to focus on another burglary. This time in Letterkenny.
Yeah, a more traditional burglary, if I could say that, in the Green Ballymacool, Letterkenny, on Wednesday the 26th of January between midnight and 2:40 p.m. So at the Green Ballymacool, the back door of the property was smashed and entry was gained. A substantial sum of cash, unfortunately, and a HP laptop and a Haichika 18-volt cordless drill were stolen during the course of the burglary. So any residents or anyone who may have observed anything suspicious on Wednesday the 26th of January between midnight and the following afternoon at the Green and Ballymacool, please contact the Garda in Letterkenny.
All right, now it's over to Moville and criminal damage.
Yeah, back to Buncrana again. The guards are appealing for information in relation to a criminal damage incident at Ardfoyle, Moville, between Saturday the 22nd of January 9 a.m. and Sunday the 23rd of January 3 p.m. Damage was caused to a car at that location between those times. An attempt was made to set one of the car tyres on fire and the windscreen was cracked. So anybody that can help the guards in Buncrana, 074 93 20540.
Okay, now we're talking about criminal damage in Letterkenny again this time.
Yeah, Ardnaree estate on the Long Lane in Letterkenny on Saturday the 29th of January between 7 p.m. and 7:15 p.m, so just a 15-minute window. The residents at this house heard a loud bang, only to discover that the sitting room window had been smashed by a rock. So I was listening to your show earlier, Greg, and I heard that chap ringing in from Termon, and you were mentioning about windows being smashed. Very traumatic for somebody having sitting watching TV or whatever in the evening time, and then their window being broken in, by a rock or whatever, and somebody could have been badly injured.
Yeah.
And this happens frequently, unfortunately. So my colleagues in Letterkenny can be reached on 9167 100. So anybody in the Ardnaree or Long Lane area that can help us between 6:45 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. on the 29th of January, please give us a shout.
Now, obviously, you heard the conversation earlier on as it relates to what these people are going through in term, and I don't think those responsible realise that it's so distressful. I'm not asking you to comment on that specifically, but I mean, more generally, obviously, parents don't want that knock on the door, or guardians don't want knock on the door saying that your young person is involved in this type of activity. I mean, it's advisable from, and this would be advice coming from Gardaí, for parents to find out have their children or younger people been involved in this and to discontinue, because if you have a pattern of behaviour where you think this is okay, what do you do when you're 20 or 21 or 22 or 23? So it's it would be in our interest if it was our young people to say, right, cop yourself on, this is not acceptable behaviour.
Yeah, well, they see it. They don't see the what's happening. To this the trauma that's causing to people. They see it as a bit of fun or a bit of recreation for them. Even knocking people's doors and running away. I'd appeal to the parents, just like that gentleman said earlier. Know where your kids are at all times, please. Especially like this happened, I think, on one occasion at 11:30 at night. So, yeah, kids of that age should be in bed. At 11:30 on a school night. So.
Yeah, okay. Right, slurry spreading season has begun.
Yeah, this time of year, 1st of February, the slurry spreading starts, and I suppose just maybe like to make a few points on it, if I could, Greg. There's going to be a lot more tractors and trailers on the road, and so if you're, be patient if you're behind a slurry tanker, and don't attempt to overtake in a dangerous manner. Keep a lookout in relation to farmyards and stuff and exiting fields, because the farmers are under pressure this time of year as well, and the farmers themselves, just I want to remind them of a few things as well. Don't let the traffic build up behind you too much, because people do get impatient. Try and pull in if it's safe to do so. Don't use your mobile phone when you're driving a tractor. It's very important, because you're driving a machine that could be 15, 20 tons, whatever, and everything's changed. Then the dynamic of the vehicle's changed. So please don't. I'm appealing directly to farmers. Please don't use your mobile phone when you're on the public road. Wash down your vehicles and trailers and to keep the muck and the slurry off the roads. you're required to have the proper lights and clean lights as well, so that they're visible at all times. You know, we have had fatal accidents in the country before where we had slurry tankers being crashed into from the rear because at night time the lights were completely obscured by muck. Brakes, very essential bit of a kit when you're towing that kind of weight as well, Greg. And it's tempting for farms maybe to let maybe younger, more inexperienced children of relatives drive vehicles. So don't chance it or risk it. You know, make sure they're familiar with the equipment. And slurry itself, there's two particular risks. I don't need to tell farmers this, but you know we've seen it so many times. You know, drowning and gas poisoning from slurry. But maybe just as a reminder, maybe to remind visitors to the farm that wouldn't be familiar with slurry and tanks and stuff. Never leave them unaccompanied when there's slurry and slurry tanks open.
All right, some other interesting points actually, because we were talking about an issue where people had branches come down on their vehicles, regardless of whether it's a slurry tank or whatever, or you're drawing hay. Make sure that you're not overloaded and you're not clipping cables or branches. And an interesting one: large farm vehicles should consider using an escort.
Yeah, well,
is that practical? Do you think?
No, that wouldn't be for slurry tanks. Now, that would be for combine harvesters and things like that are over a certain width. I think that there's a legal requirement for having a permit on the road for width of vehicles, and that is applied for through the county council. But it wouldn't apply to 99% of the farmers in Donegal. It's for huge machinery. I think it's over 2 meters.
Right. Okay, and I'm sure that information will be republished on the Garda Síochána Donegal Facebook page. Right. Every day should be safe for Internet Day. Constant nuisance, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Safer Internet Day takes place next Tuesday, the Tuesday, 8th of February, and it's something that we can't as parents wing it anymore, because the kids are buying and selling this in relation to maybe hiding what they're at or what they're looking at online and what's been shared with them. So there is a website, webwise.ie. I've had a good look at it, and it's in collaboration with the Department of Justice as well, and it's a good resource for parents to look at so that they can maybe update themselves on sort of the latest bits and pieces.
Because you might think they're still on Facebook or Instagram, but they might be 9 times out of 10 on TikTok. And you can't have a conversation if you don't understand that.
Yeah. Parents need to be aware maybe of the minimum ages for certain apps and things, like Snapchat, I think it's 13, Facebook, I think it's 16. This comes up all the time, and it can lead to horrific or horrendous experiences for a child, because you've got a global network of people that are preying on children, and just because you're in rural Donegal or whatever, that does not leave them safe from one little bit. The hashtag Talk, Listen, Learn campaign, that's a part of this, isn't it? Yeah, that encourages parents to talk with their children about the benefits and risks associated with the internet, but also to listen to what their child has to say and how they feel about the internet. And there's a free online webinar for Safer Internet Day that takes place beforehand on Monday the 7th of February at 11 a.m. This event will explore how to support parents and children online, and there's a link to register for the event, and that's accessed through Webwise Ireland Facebook page or on their website, webwise.ie.
All right, great stuff. And there's loads of tools on webwise.ie too that parents can employ. Listen, thank you very much as always, Niall. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, that was the Community Garda information slot for this Tuesday, the 1st of February. We'll be back with the item again after the 10 o'clock news next Tuesday.